What it do, YouTube? This is D Chill. I'm back at it with another one. I'm gonna get my shout outs out the way, and then I'm gonna get into this. So, your shout out to Kev Mack videos, Stephen A. Smith, 16 to Life, Cartoon One, Bosco 100, Nina Boy, Charlie Global, C. Bill, Jay Williams, Big Joe, Joe T, Damian Porter, Renegade Media, Gunner's Collection. I think about the other essay homie. I've only seen him a couple of times, but I ain't gonna get into that. But I can't remember his name, but he got some good content on there. Xavier and her husband. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. But I'm so glad they're back together because I stopped watching them when they were separate and doing their own thing because they were so much funner as a family unit. So I enjoyed that. And the Legends channel, and definitely I got to start seeing this person first because he's the only YouTuber that I went on their page and always gave my shout outs for how good they were doing. And he's the only one that went on and looked at a couple of my videos and commented on them. And it blew me away. And I appreciate that, homie. 89 on up. Neighborhood Paru, the homie. Yeah, I gotta give him love. So his channel, give them a shout out. And the dude from Legends, I forget his name, but he has dope content. I love how the way he used to tell his stories about his homeboys from Legends and from IBC, how their passing was. I personally wish that he would do more videos just about different things in his hood that he can talk about, because he has one of those dope voices. Him and Pint from 89 on up, they have the voices that they could be narrators in gangster movies. Like if there was something that we would put our mind together, put our money together, and get in contact with folks that got the media together down there in LA and really put together a movie or a series about like how they have Snowfall, about gangs in Inglewood, gangs in LA, gangs in what's that called again? LA, Inglewood, Compton, but there's a Watts, and even Sacramento. And I'm just talking about gangs. Oakland, of course, I've been to the Acorns. I know how they get down. Yeah, it's rough and tough, but I'm talking gangs like Crips and Blood things. If they put together a movie series like that and had them cats narrating, man, do you know how viral that would be? Because their voices is just so filthy. That's a good term in Seattle. That's one of our slangs. They could put it together and make it really pop. Like, so that's just something that I think that it would be a viral moment, and it would help bring a lot of exposure to why folks are tied into these gangs and what kept them in. Because it's not always on shoot 'em up, bang, bang. It would be a lot of times because of loneliness, no family member on drugs, you don't got no place to stay, and the neighborhood becomes your family. There's a whole bunch that come with this game, man, that the outside world, they don't know. They just think it's colors, and they're not knowing that it's a lot deeper than just colors. Now, sometimes it had been just about colors, but at the end of the day, it's deeper than that. So, there was more shout outs. I just figured I would stop it at, because I was about to say I would conclude it at that, because you know I've been listening to that Young Ant, because that's definitely one of his sayings. So that's somebody else I watched, and so I'll leave it at that, and I'll get into the story. So this story right here is going to be called Chill and S Part 1. I don't want to put people's business out there because they may not want to be known for doing whatever. So we'll leave it at that. So Chill and S, they were partners. They lived in the same building on 18th and Union. And this is when Dope dealing just got started and popular in Seattle, Washington, for my generation. So what I was told, because I was in Nassau, Washington, I was locked up for meter picking with the coat hanger and the tweezers and the hemos, getting money. Where that joint at? This kind of resembled tweezers, but that's how you get the money in. It was hanging out a little bit, you connect it, pull that joint out. If it was deep down in there, like the homie Glee taught me, put that wire down in there, pull it up, get all the loot. Oh man, I got stories to tell y'all. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I put this one down. We had names for all of our meters, and we nicknamed one particular meter 94. And the reason why we nicknamed it 94 is because we had struck for $94. That's a lot of money when you're 11 and 12. $94 being split 3 ways, 31 bucks a piece at that age, that's a grip of money. And we kept wads of ones in our pockets. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject, but now I'm on the phone, man. You gotta be kidding me. So, my bad, y'all. I'm not sure who that is. I'll have to get that later. So, anyway, here it is. We had been used to getting this slow money. What I mean by slow money, we got to go from meter to meter, walking, see if that one got some money, and it's dollars. Whereas I've been locked up, and that's what I was locked up for 9 months, meter picking and possession of stolen property. That's why my name was good in Seattle for so long, because the homie Biz had gave me the moped to roll, but I got popped with it, and it was hot. And my attorney, love her. She turned out to be one of the best lawyers down there. I ain't gonna put her name out there though. She was telling me, "Come on, Dorian, this is not you. You've never been a burglar. You never done any car thefts or none of this. So I know this can't be you that got this. Just tell me who it is, and I know I get the prosecutor to drop it." My stepdaddy was from Chicago, El Rookin, and he used to always, that's one of the first 3 things he taught us as kids. You get your own beef, you ride your beef. You don't snitch. Snitches end in ditches. I remember those phrases. Don't be a follower, be a leader. So it's just like, it stuck with me. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So I'm sitting there at 12 at the time thinking like, man, I hear where she's coming from, because now I'm about to get sent up. Normally I just do juvenile time, or at this point I would have possibly got like 12 weeks, they would called it, and I would have went to night and they said Echo Glen. That's co-ed. And that's right over the bridge. So it would have been way easier for family to come and visit me. And I know homies that have been locked up there, and it was gravy. They loved it. It was just like being out, even though you're locked up. Because you got females around. You're going to school with them. Man, you don't feel like you're locked up doing that. So anyway, I was like, I can't do that. I didn't tell her that's snitching, but I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And we just went ahead and pled guilty, or I don't think we took it to trial because they would have parked me. But anyway, I ended up getting the 9 months, and I got locked up for that. My bad, y'all, because I can't stand when folks spend a whole bunch of time talking about frivolous, meaningless things just to spend more time on the internet talking just for their views to go or whatever, just because that irritates the heck out of me. And there's some folks that I enjoy their content, but there's parts like that that irritate the heck out of me. Like, don't waste my time because you're trying to make your numbers look good just to be talking. Say something relevant, then I'll be okay. But just to be running your mouth, that ain't cool. So, and y'all know who you are. But, so I went ahead and got to 9 months, and I accepted that. So here it is now. I'm coming home, and I'm finding out about this dope money and how plentiful it was. So I was told, this was prior to me getting released, that Chill and S used to be curb serving all throughout the Union area because they lived up on 18th. And then if you go down maybe 5 blocks, yeah, exactly, you're on 23rd. And that's like the heart of the Union area. And I was told that these cats were so competitive and so cool that while they have been grinding, because mind you, this is in the beginning stages. This is like they're young at this, so they're still curb serving. It ain't like they had no big houses and big old places to make these moves because they were young. So they still on the curb. Because if anyone knows who I'm talking about, they know one of these figures, both of them did in their own right. Chill did it and then was done with it. This other person did it and blew up something crazy. Yeah, but so everyone starts off pretty much, unless you're getting front at work, as a curb server. So he's telling me, because I left this part out. When I got home, I went to go get my suitcase. Just to, my suitcase was there. I'm going in it because I ain't seen my suitcase in a while. And all of our taggings were on there. I had tagged it up. And I thought it was filthy. Then seeing he wrote all over it got me hot because his tags looked better than mine. So I'm mad because his looked better than my tags. But everybody had tagged on the suitcase because I had started it. But I wanted to go in there and just, go through what do I have here now, because I only had a limited amount of clothes up there. But my bro has sent me some Adidas, some shell top Adidas. I should have went backed up a little bit. Before I got out, my brother sent me some shell-toed Adidas and some Lee jeans. Back in the days, Lee jeans and shell-toed Adidas was the B-boy thing. And then my girl at the time, she had sent me a LL Cool J sweater from the concert. So I'm up in there looking filthy now. I ain't got my little gear up. Got my little money from working as the building laundryman, if you will. And so I was feeling it, thinking I was the guy. So I knew at that time my brother had been making some good money because he's sending me these type of things. This ain't meter picking money. You spending bread like this, you don't just throw away meter picking money just because your brother locked up and go get him them shoes. I don't know how much they were at the time, but that still was some money. So I know when he was doing something different, but I didn't really have a full clue to the magnitude of where he was at. So when I got out, that's when he got me up to speed. So I'm going through my suitcase, and I reach down and grab some things, and then I grab this bag, and it's full of little white substances. At the time, I know nothing about this. So I go to my bro, like, man, Wayne, what is all this? And he's like, oh, snatch the boy, get in here. Like, what? It was crumbs from, I think it was a 9-piece of him, the crumbs from him cutting up. I'm like, are you serious? I'm young and didn't really understand it, but I knew from what he told me it was crumbs from that. But I did like, this dude, you just got crumbs just laying around? Like, you must really got a gang of work if you just got the crumbs in there. Come to find out, there was like 3 to 6 more rifles and pistols in that closet. I mean, the dude had been stacking up, doing all kind of weird. Man, this cat was something else. I'm going to the store one night, commercial breaking. I'm going to the store one night. That's a Joe T thing. I'm getting off the subject. I should have said commercial break a while ago, but I got to tell some of the backstory to this story. I was going to the store one night. One of the reasons why I did not like you Crips, this reason right here. I'm just keep it in clean. Going to the store one night, and I got on a red jacket, and I'm just walking. It's dark, and I hear somebody, "What's up, cuz?" At the time, I'm really not knowing, because Seattle, we were new to the gangbanging stuff. And I just said, oh, peace. That was the thing. We were really intrigued with the New Yorkers. A lot of people were. Everything started over there. So that was a saying at the time. It still is. And I still use the word to this day. You might hear it when I get done. Say peace. So everybody was like, peace. So I was just like, oh, peace. Not knowing what they were talking about. And they was like, what's up, cuz? And I was like, peace. And I just kept saying that. And I was startled, wondering why they kept on looking at me, sweating me. And I forget what else dude said, but they ended up punching off and doing anything. And they didn't bother me, but I could just tell from that interaction and the way how they was mad dogging me that they had a problem with me. I come back, tell my bro about that. He go in the closet quickly, goes through several of his handguns and hands me a Dillinger, a 2-shot chrome Dillinger. I remember like it was just a filthy chrome white. Oh, I was like, he said, every time you go to the store now, take that with you. And that happens again, just pop them, period. Because we were just gangsters before we knew what gangsters were, because we were just that sick with it. We're going to fight, and when it came to firearms, we're going to use them. We're going to do whatever. We just had no problems with pushing the limit, pushing the line to the limit, I mean. So that was just the beginning stages of what I didn't know, but started knowing that bro been out here putting in work, making it happen. So now we get up to speed, and he's telling me, breaking down what's up with all the stuff that he had in the closet, I was about to say shake, the crumbs from the 9-piece or what have you, or they had cut up, and all the pistols and rifles. So he tells me a story about him and S, how they used to literally, one would be on one side of the street and one would be on the other side of the street. And they would walk all the way down to the bottom of Union, 23rd, and then walk back up. What I didn't know, he told me recently, maybe about a year ago, he said, no, what we used to do when we got to the bottom of the hill, we switch sides, make it even. So they would switch sides, and then when they get back to the top, they would count on how they did it and judge who made the most sales. That's how plentiful it was, because there wasn't that many people out there selling crack at that time. There just wasn't. And we're talking 1988. I went in NASO in 87 and got out in May of 88. So we're talking 88. It was not big time like that. There were people doing it, but it wasn't a whole bunch. And my point is, Union became a street flooded with cats out there getting money, and they had a lot of customers coming in and out of that place. Nevertheless, at that time, S and Gio was like the only two really getting money like that at that time at their age group. And I said, are you serious, bro? He's like, yeah, man, me and S was tight. We used to get money, and it was so plentiful out here. And I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, because that's why I couldn't believe it. Because I'm looking at Union, not when he was telling me the story, I couldn't believe it as I'm looking at later when Union became so engulfed with so many different folks. I'm like, and you too was because there was so much money going through there. My mind was just transfixed on you two was the only two really getting it, because there's older folks, but they're not on the curbs. You two was getting that much money till you could go and then switch sides. Because if there was more people, there's no way they would have been able to get that much money and take turns and see who's making that much. It just blew me away. Like, I couldn't believe that these cats was really getting money like that at them times in the late 80s, but it's early crack era for us. So when you just look at it and just be like, dang, and then you also say, man, look how deep Union is, because that's a deep neighborhood. They're one of the biggest, because Seattle's not that big, one of the biggest hoods in terms of manpower around CD and South End, in my opinion. Because we're talking streets. We're not just talking about this whole section, South End Central. We're talking Yesler, Union. We're talking Madison. We're talking Horton, Juno, Henderson. We're talking streets. A lot of streets weren't popping back in those days. They weren't even known of in those days. So you're wondering why I'm not saying certain streets. They weren't around. The history is the history. Old school is old school. Middle school and later school, that's a different story. But if we're talking old school, those names that I mentioned were dominant names where it was really money being generated from, and dominant figures that had always been there. Other places and hoods came along later on throughout the years, but it just wasn't cracking like that at the beginning stage of the dope game. Because let's face it, I didn't really know a whole bunch about the dope game. I was a new booty to that, but that's just how it was. It was new to a lot of us. And so anyway, that is that's a part of the story. There's more I want to tell on this story about them too, but it's possibly going to be more about Chill, because he graduated and now he's in the dope house, and he's telling me stories about how he had to take our pit bull Leo in the 4-4 or 4-5, 4-5. And the big homie had to tell him, hey, we got some curb servers down the way and they're blocking the spot. I need you to go clear it out. So, Wayne was the G, and he had to go chill. My bad. Yeah, I might have to edit, and I don't like doing that stuff. Anyway, we're going to leave it at that. But I got some more to tell, because he was a mess. And we're talking these curb serving folks that I can't say they government, but I'm going to try to get you as close as I can to the individual word, because one of them, no, he's still around. But yeah, he got some major figures from out of the valley that was trying to curb serve, how to get them out of there. Yeah, that boy, he's a man now. He was a mess at 15 and had knockouts. So that's going to be it, y'all, for this. Again, we're not here to do no fussing, cussing, and we're definitely ain't trying to get nobody mad enough where they want to start busting. All we're simply doing is telling situations, stories of how I saw it or how it was told to me. So let's have a discussion. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, that's your prerogative. I just ask if you like the content, then like it. Subscribe so you can be ready for more, because I'm going to really, look here, man. This right here is the second, I think, book of stories that I put too much of my business up there. This, when I have something, like I told you, my short-term memory, when I have things come to my head, I write them down. These are just different topics of what I got to tell that story. I got to tell that story. I got another one over here. My bad, y'all. I shouldn't be taking up all this time. But I just don't want you to think that I'm telling you any lies or any stories. But this is just real. I've been doing this for a while, writing down these topics. I've been just writing down what different things I needed to discuss. I've been doing this for a while. So I got a bunch of stuff to talk about. That's like 6 or 7 pages just right there. And this is like the third notebook that I have. There's two more over there where I started from. Man, like I got a bunch of stuff that I had to write down because I couldn't just rely on my memory no more because of the stroke situation. But I got a bunch of stuff and new stuff, political stuff. There's a bunch of, and most importantly, spiritual things. I'm going to definitely be touching bases on them. I just don't want to cram people or have people feel like they're being preached to, because I know that's not the way. I was told a wise man winneth souls. You can't win those souls talking to someone all the time just about Jesus. It doesn't work that way. Yeshua, his original name. It doesn't work that way, in my opinion. Some people you can. Let me rephrase that. Some people you can. But folks as hardened criminals from the streets, you think you're just going to come to them and start talking, quoting scripture to them? And they're going to be all, oh, yes, really? Dang, that sounds good. I would like to be saved. Man, are you serious? We're talking about folks that have killed people or witnessed folks being killed, or then beat up a bunch of folks, knocked out folks, stabbed, all kind of craziness. And you think that just you talking to them about Jesus is going to innate, and some of them don't even know him, never believed in him. Another thing I was taught is we win them by the blood of the Lamb and the testimony of our faith. Our testimony is what catches folks that have never lived or understood the lifestyle of being a Christian. I mean, I usually use that phrase, being a man or woman of the Most High, the Creator. You have to have something to get them wanting to listen to your story. If you think you want to win their souls, you can't just always think that you're going to just be able to talk to folks straight, directly from the Bible. I used to do gospel rap a while ago, and one of them, say this and I'll be done. One of my engineers, I was at his house. He had a studio in his home, and he had different posters up there. And one poster said, "Go out into all ye lands and preach the word. And preach the gospel, and sometimes use words." We got it mixed up, man. It never said in the Bible to just do a whole bunch of preaching and talking. It says, listen more and talk less. I'm paraphrasing, but that's literally a scripture in there that talks about how we are supposed to listen more and talk less. People are not going to just go for what you're talking about. They're going to go for what you're walking about, how you walk and how you living. And I know I still got some devilish evilness in me that got to come out. So how am I going to just get on here and just assume I'm the position of I'm this preacher and I'm going to minister to people? No, I'm going to tell them my story, where I am today, how I got to where I'm at today. That's what's going to gravitate, in my opinion, to folks, because it takes a wise man to win souls. And what better wisdom to use than your own story? This is the way how I used to live. And these are the steps that I have taken to get to where I am now. Because there's people that can look at me and see me and be like, D's changed. D's changed. One of my old enemies, I never forget, me and this cat couldn't stand each other. See me one day back in the early 2000s, and bro, I want to say your name, but I'm not going to because I haven't gotten permission from you. But you will probably remember this day. I'm at the bus stop in the south end, and we're both from the central, and he's coming past, or no, he's pulling over to get gas at the gas station right on Graham and Martin Luther King. And he looked over and seen me like, "Hey, bro, you need a ride?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I appreciate that." He's like, "Come on, man, jump in." We couldn't stand each other when we was oppositions going against each other. But when you have change and people can see it, they understand it and respect it. He's always told me, hey, because I talked to him, we were sitting next to each other at Shatan's funeral. I'll never forget. because it shocked me to see the guy cry, because he was a rough cat. And we were talking about, because I'm trying to do my ministering thing. He said, "Hey D, I respect that's what you're doing now." He said, "But that's never been me, and that's not me." But he respected who I was and can tell that I've changed enough that he can give me a ride, not thinking that I'm gonna try to pull nothing on him and do nothing to him while I'm in the back seat, because he knew something has changed in this person's life. So the bottom line is, yeah, we're here to talk to each other and we'll help witness, but at the same time, we have to make sure that we're walking what we're talking. So that's basically it for me. I said enough. Forgive me, y'all. Like I said, I'm working on me, and that's one of the pet peeves of being a McDade. We can talk, and I'm learning that not supposed to be talking that much. No. There's a time and a place for everything. There's a time when you're needed for those long discussions, and you can hold up a long theological discussion or whatever you will. But then there's times when you need to pipe it down and be able to just listen and not be running it too much. And so I'm trying to learn to stop the talk and do more to listen. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.